It's the final percent. The final percent. Yeah. All right, welcome to the Final Percent podcast. Yes, I am in my Jeep. Yes, I am driving to another meeting. Was in Costa Rica, so was busy prepping for a speech. Doing a lot of behind the scenes masterminding, working with people, and also traveling with an infant to another country. A very unique experience, to say the least. So we haven't been able to do any podcasts because we have just been light speed on doing a speaking engagement / obligation. So it is what it is, but I'm back in full effect. Going to be pumping out some podcasts, and like I said, I'm just going to keep hammering these, as close to every day as I can, as long as time allows. But we're going to be certainly getting more than one a week. We used to just do Mondays, but hey, we're back and just going to keep trying to provide as much value as possible. Some of the takeaways from Costa Rica. Number one, you got to move, guys. You got to move, and I'm not saying move to Costa Rica, but you can't tether yourself to places and things, and in a lot of ways, even people. A lot of people let people become a crutch, and one of the things that I talk a lot about with my clients is, hey, what if I got hit by a bus? How would you make decisions? So I try to remove myself as much as possible in every part of the decision-making process. I want you to be able to, utilize me as a resource, bounce ideas off of. Collaborative thought is incredibly, incredibly important, but I don't want you to be so scared to make a move, make a decision, and actually, take advantage of an opportunity. Once your awareness really kicks in and you have that opportunity, I don't want you to miss out on an opportunity because you're like, oh my God, I want to talk to Greg first, or, insert mentor's name here. A lot of us are tethering ourselves to people, which is one philosophy, one ideology, one way of doing things. And collaborative thought is the only way to really exponentially change what's possible in your life. And collaborative thought breeds creativity. And this is something that my friend, and now friend, just to be very clear, my now friend, Woody Woodward, talks a lot about. Now, I love this speaker. I think he's absolutely fantastic. And I got to watch him on a national conference of an organization that I'm a part of. And just, he tore the stage apart, like in such a good way. It was a masterclass in speaking. Well, check this out. When I show up in Costa Rica, it was literally me, Woody Woodward, and Bob Snyder talking. The entire, 5-day thing was centered around the three of us being the trainers that were there for everybody. And I got to really get to know him, and he is just a master communicator, and I love the fact that he is the same person off the stage as he is on the stage. I don't like it when you have that incongruency, if you will. But he talks a lot about, collaboration, and he talks about the idea of creativity, because collaboration breeds creativity. Everything, as far as innovation that we know, everything as far as moving the human race forward, our business forward, everything forward that's really changing our lives comes from us being creative. We creatively finance things. We creatively acquire things. We, creatively do and change the stars of our life. But here's the thing. Creativity, true creativity, real creativity, good creativity comes from vulnerability. And the only way to truly be vulnerable with somebody is if you feel safe. And I think that creating a safe environment for collaborative thought, collaborative ideas, the different way that we communicate is extraordinarily important. And so are you creating a safe environment? One of the things that, happened to me recently is, I had one person say, "Oh, but Greg, you're very scary to talk to." Well, whoa, that kind of blindsided me. I was like, oh my goodness, I had no idea. And then I had another person, say, "Yeah, but sometimes you're too direct." And so the thing is I have to remember the best way to communicate with someone is not use your language. Remember, if you go over, let's say that you are a full-blooded American or a full-blooded Canadian, if you will, you grew up in Canada, or you grew up in the United States, or say you're a full-blooded, Mexican, you grew up in Mexico, and you speak Spanish. If any of those three countries, someone who was born and raised in any of those three countries goes to China and just starts speaking their native language, not the native language of China, they're not going to get very far. To communicate with someone, you truly have to be able to use someone else's language, someone else's way of communicating. And so I just realized, there's an opportunity for me to grow. I'm actually going to have to call somebody back. They're calling me in my car right now, and I'm pretty sure it's Dale. And I know he listens to the podcast. So, hey, buddy, the reason I'm not answering your phone call is because you are making a guest appearance on my podcast without realizing it. But I will call you back in about 3 minutes, because this is just a quick little podcast that we're trying to get out for people so that they can take advantage of what I'm learning from other speaker trainers. All right, there's my book in the background, But the thing is create safe environments for people to be able to be vulnerable. Create safe environments for people to be vulnerable, because vulnerability breeds collaboration and creativity. Creativity is the big thing, the secret sauce, the ingredient that makes entrepreneurship so important. And so I want you to be able to get creative in your life and you're never out of the fight. You're never out of what's possible. You're never going to be, down in your down and out of luck and all of this stuff where you should throw in the towel. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You just haven't gotten creative enough to figure out how to solve the problem that is in front of you. That's incredibly important, guys. Incredibly important. So here's what I challenge you guys to do. Find a place where you're usually defensive, number one, defensive, and take down your defenses and start asking questions. Right when you want to defend your position, remember, go after insight instead of agreement. That's number one. And then I want you to make a list of your tether points. This could be, I am tethered to a political party. I am tethered to a person. I am tethered to this. Now, some tethers are unbreakable. Some tethers incredibly important. Some tethers you need to really double down on. Marriage is one of them. So that is a tether point that's really, really good. So not all tether points are bad. I just want you to be aware of them. What is keeping you on the road that you're on, and are you sure that that's the destination that you are trying to go to? So remember, create safe environments, and for yourself too. This isn't just communication with other people. Sometimes we're so hard on ourselves that we forget to give ourselves a little grace. We forget to unplug a little bit. We forget to actually accept that we need some downtime, some me time. We need to create a safe environment, because here's the other thing, guys. No one has epiphanies on purpose. So if you're sitting there, oh my God, I have to solve it, I gotta solve it. That's so much pressure that you're probably gonna make a high pressure decision. And remember, the more pressure that gets on us, we fall down to our habits. We are only going to be as good as our habits are. So if we have a tendency to go scarcity, boom. If we have a tendency for hubris, boom. If we have a tendency to fight, boom. If we have a tendency for flight, boom. That's going to happen when you're in those high pressure situations. So sometimes you got to unplug. Remember, no one has an epiphany on purpose. You unplug, and remember, the active mind, what we're using right now, thinking about what I'm saying, the active mind is just the starter motor of your life. The engine of your life is your subconscious. So I'm just trying to drop little ideas and things inside of you that your subconscious can go to work on, and maybe we can bear some fruit and we can grow some really, really cool things in the future, but it's not going to happen overnight. So create a safe place for yourself, create a safe space for other people, be the example. And some shameless promotion, just really quick, guys. The summit is upon us. So far, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. We have sold a little over 20 tickets. I think we just sold our 20th or maybe our 21st today. We are capping this event at 40 people. So if you want to go, you actually have to apply. If you want to go, I need you to reach out to Owen at thefinalpercent.com, and he will make sure that you're a good fit, and he will give you a link to grab a ticket. We just secured Brian Bogert, who was at my summit last year, who absolutely brought the house down, and he has such a powerful story. And then Sharon Lecter is going to come spend 3 days with us. I mean, this is someone who, corporations hire her out for $10,000 an hour, and this is an intimate setting to where you're going to be able to really create your own relationship, ask questions about your business. So it's not just a seminar where you go and there's the vague general things where you're just a face in the crowd and they're talking and it's supposed to apply to everybody. No, this is, hands-on community building, loving on people, working and asking questions and exercises and building a community, the likes of which I don't think anybody has ever seen before. So, hey guys, I would love to see you there. Reach out to Owen to see if you are a good fit. Again, I appreciate you. I love you, and we are going to keep rocking and rolling. This has been the Final Percent Podcast. As always, I can't build this community without you. If you're listening to this podcast, please tag me on Instagram and just give me a little screenshot of there and say, hey, this is a podcast that I'm listening to, and share it with your friends. That would be helpful. Or wherever you listen to podcasts, click that share button, text it to a couple people. If you're finding value out of these things and you look forward to this, that's the only payment that I ask for. I would just love for you to share. This has been today's edition of The Final Percent. It's the final percent. The final percent.